to A Well-Designed Business. My name is Luann Nigara, and I'm so glad you found this podcast. Together with my husband Vince and our partner Bill, we have grown our company Window Works from the ground up. So I know and I understand the challenges you face in running your interior design business. I also know that your talent alone isn't enough to ensure your success. So on this podcast, we talk about strategies and practical steps to help you grow your business. But make no mistake about it, we have our share of fun here too, mixed in with those aha moments that I love so much. This isn't fluff. Nobody has time for that. Whether you are a new interior designer or a seasoned designer, I am here to help you create and to manage the kind of interior design firm that you dream of. It's straight talk and it's action. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hi, welcome to another episode of A Well-Designed Business. Today is a new feature for the show. It's called Where Are They Now? So every once in a while, a previous guest will reach a milestone or they will achieve something that they talked about in the episode, or they just go on to do something that I think is noteworthy and sort of connects to the original show they did. And today's episode is that type of episode. Today, I'm talking with Beth Dutolo and Carolina Gentry, the principals of Pulp Design Studio. They were originally here for episode 176. In that episode, we talked about the powerful videos that they have created to market their firm. We discussed how the videos have increased their business and how the videos have helped them very strategically attract their ideal client. And you're going to learn today that these videos were really part of what is happening for them now, okay? So if you've not heard it, it's a terrific episode, number 176. Now, a little bit about Pulp Design Studio, in case you're not familiar. These ladies have studios both in Seattle and Dallas, and they have been published in and recognized by Architectural Digest, Traditional Home, and the New York Times Magazine. Pulp's team is comprised of formally educated professional interior designers with an extensive background in both commercial and residential design. In the first interview, we learned that while Beth lives in and leads the Seattle studio, and Carolina lives in and leads the Dallas studio, every project is actually run jointly by the teams in both studios. So listen into 176 to hear how they manage that. Now, Beth Dutolo graduated from the Art Institute with a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Interior Design. Her work includes luxury residences, national, commercial, and multifamily work, and retail merchandising and design. Along with being a registered interior designer and an NCIDQ certificate holder, Beth is also a member of ASID. She was named D-Home Best Designers in 2011 and 2012, and she's a recipient of the ASID Legacy of Design Award, recognized as a rising star in interior design by Fashion Group International, and has been named Dallas Design Glitterati by Modern Luxury Magazine. Carolina Gentry has more than 15 years experience in interior design and project management. She holds a bachelor's degree in interior design from Texas Christian University. She is also a registered interior designer and also an NCIDQ certificate holder. Carolina is fluent in Spanish, both written and conversational. Her work includes award-winning new construction and renovated projects in hospitality, residential, and multifamily. She has designed and managed a wide variety of projects for high-end hospitality brands, including Ritz-Carlton, Hyatt Regency, Hilton, Marriott, and countless other boutique hotel and restaurant clients. Carolina has also designed national and international luxury residential design projects spanning from New York City to Asia. She has been a recipient of the ASID Legacy of Design Award and recognized as a rising star in interior design by Fashion Group International. Today, Beth and Carolina have some pretty exciting news for us, and this is one of the reasons that I was very happy to have them on the show in the first in this new series of Where Are They Now? Just 1 week ago, on March 20th, 2018, they launched their newly designed line of fabrics with S. Harris. Today, they'll be here to tell us how this was developed, what you need to know if you aspire to having licensing agreements, and about the process of developing it with S. Harris. I'd like to particularly draw your attention to how often Both of them mention how critical it is to identify your brand and your core values in conjunction with your success. If you've read my book, The Making of a Well-Designed Business, then you know how firmly I believe that this is the very first thing that you need to do as a business owner. You have to have your come to Jesus moment with yourself on what your company mission is and what your core values are. So I was particularly impressed that Pulp Design Studios has taken the time to soul search this, to identify it, and to agree on it as partners, and that with intention, they express it and teach it to both their staff and their clients. Listen for it. It comes up several times during the conversation organically. Before we start the interview, I want to remind you that our sponsor, Cravat Inc., has a new code for you. Yes, as a listener of the podcast, you can use the code AWDB10, a well-designed business 10, AWDB10, at checkout for 10% off any one purchase of Cravat fabric, wallpaper, or trim. So please check out their entire line at their brand new website at cravat.com and select your next fabric, trim, or wallpaper for your interior design project and use the code AWDB10. Okay, let me get to interviewing Beth Dutolo and Carolina Gentry. Hey, Beth. Hey, Carolina. Thank you so much for being back on the show again.
Hi, this is Beth. We're so excited to be here.
Hi, Luann. It's Carolina. So excited.
I know. You ladies crack me up. So here's the thing. I am so delighted not only to have you back because you're both so brilliant and you run such an amazing design firm in 2 different locations, no less, but you have some really fun news that I'm so happy that I get to share with everybody. You guys are launching a licensed fabric collection with S. Harris, right? Tell us all about it.
Well, we're super excited about it, first of all, because I think Carolina and I can both say this has been our dream since we started our business 11 years ago today, actually.
I know.
And
whoa, wait, anniversary actually today in recording
today.
time?
Today is our 11 year. It's our birthday.
Happy anniversary.
But I think this is just one of those things that, I think we've always dreamed of, and I think a lot of designers dream about. And so, that's not lost on us. And we've, been keeping it under wraps for the past year since we talked to you last, and we haven't been able to talk to anyone about it.
Nobody knows.
Wow. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. It's just so exciting to actually be able to speak the words.
So tell me about it. It's funny because if you had said, oh, it's something that we've been thinking about and we finally did it, but you're saying from the time you guys started your firm, you both always shared and knew that this was a dream to design a fabric collection?
Well, just in general, we always wanted to do product. It was something that was really important to us. Just as designers, we always felt like sometimes there were things that were missing in the market that we were looking for, or we had to customize specific things. So fabric was definitely something that was important to us that we use every day. And, just the chance to get to do something with our name on it, with our brand.
Right.
Okay.
And we're just a very, our firm, we're very textile driven. We love textiles, and, we've customized, a ton of stuff for our clients. We've come out with other little product lines that we did ourselves, but, to actually have a line of textiles that someone that we've used and respected our entire careers came to us and said, we would like to do a line with you. We're interested in working with you. Was like,
we were like, what?
Wait, so they actually came to you?
Yes. Yeah, they approached us.
Wow.
And we saw the creative director of S. Harris. Her name's Jody, and we had no idea who their creative director was. We've just been buying their fabrics our whole careers. We saw this email come through, and, it had the, at fabricate.com at the end. And we were like,
what do they want?
What do they want? And so we started talking, and she's like, we just want to meet. And we were like, okay, well, let's meet. We're going to be your way. And it was actually at Modernism Week. We're going to be your way. At this time, do you want to meet? She's like, well, yeah, I'll drive down. Let's meet. So we met and we hit it off, and we just talked, and we had all these great, discussions about where we saw the industry going. And, they were looking for a fresh new kind of
perspective,
not just style wise, but business wise. You know, it was not just about for them. They're very forward thinking, and for them, it wasn't about we just want someone to give us a style that we're lacking. They were more like, we want someone who has a business model that we can team with them to move forward in this changing landscape of interior design. So it was a really, you know, enlightening and exciting conversation. And, you know, we're super excited to be partnering with them and launch this whole line. We can't wait for everyone to see it and get their hands on it because it's really fun and adventurous and exciting.
You know, I have to say, I think it's an accomplishment enough if you had said, well, it was a really tough thing. We knocked on 9,000 doors and finally somebody saw our vision and said yes. But you're killing us right now. We're all here like, wait a minute, they called you.
Okay, so here's what I'll say about that is that, you know, the thing is, you could say that we didn't have to try very hard and that it fell in our lap, but that's not the case.
Right.
The fact of the matter is that it's all of the hard work and the branding and the marketing efforts and the hard the design work that we've been doing for our clients to try to push boundaries. All of that work kind of combined and you know, put out forward facing is what attracted the right people. Yeah. So it's really about making sure that you have the right voice and the right branding and that you know what your target is and you know what your goals are and that you're putting that out there so that the right people come to you. It's not always about quantity, it's about quality. And we've been very strategic in how we've done that. And so, yes, we did not have to knock on doors, but we would have had they not come, and we might still be later. But,
right. Well, and I agree with you. You hear me on the podcast all the time. I always say you have to be prepared to be lucky. You have to do all the things that you're supposed to do from square one, from, you know, the way you run your business, the way you interact and your ethics and your integrity, to your, you know, the way you select your branding, the way you do everything. And then when this stuff kind of happens, it's like, oh yeah, we were lucky. It's like, no, yeah, right. So no, but still,
at the same time we weren't. It's like we were strategically engaging with brands that we have worked with and wanted to work with. And so, you know, it was all very strategic. It just so happened that we didn't have to beg, which was really nice.
Very nice.
And we were noticed for, I mean, we have a lot of things that people like. I mean, we're a design duo. We do great work. You know, we have a certain style, and that was very intriguing to them. And same thing, our social media and everything that Beth said, you know, the branding, people love that.
Right.
And they wanted to be a part of it.
So when we talk about some of the strategic things that you did, internally, that's one thing. Like you said, locking down your branding, locking down your style, locking down your world-facing, you know, things, Instagram and all of that stuff. All of that, right. I get it. I know that you have to do it and you have to do equality. And by the way, it's the reason why I found you guys the first time when I invited you to be on the show. It's you do stand out when you just Google interior designers and you go on Instagram. You do stand out, and that's yes, totally. And then of course it's the icing on the cake is that when you do meet the two of you, you are fantastic human beings. You know, you're fun. And, I mean,
so sweet.
The total package, ladies. Okay.
Thanks, Luann. We only came on the show so we could hang out with you for an hour. Exactly. We didn't actually want to talk about interior design.
So, but the thing is, in that strategy there, are we actually saying that when you said you were strategic in the brands and working with them, did you, because this is getting down into the nitty gritty, did you literally say, okay, we have this big vision for our company, we'd like to do products, we'd like to do this, that, and the other thing, let's identify 2 or 3 or 4 brands that we can get behind and be supportive of because we agree with everything that they're about. And like, for instance, with S. Harris, let's kind of use their stuff a little more often than other people's stuff, and let's tag them and let's show their product and this and that. And then maybe they'll take notice and then see the rest of the amazing stuff. Are we talking about that kind of strategy?
No, honestly.
No, I mean, okay. we truly use products that we believe in and that we love using.
Okay.
And I think that because you feel that way about something, you're even more excited about sharing that. And it is authentic. I think it's not strategic in the sense like, well, I'm going to scratch this person's back so they can come back and scratch mine later. It's more, I mean, it happened because we truly believe in the product.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, I think that I would have meant that to go without saying, that you would have started like, and look, I mean, this is a business. Let's be serious. So it wouldn't, if you had said to me, we evaluated, there were 5 fabric manufacturers that we really felt were the ideal brand for all the reasons. We love their product, we love their service, we love their, blah, 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 blah. And we did sort of move our stuff along here and there. I mean, I'm going to tell you flat out, whose books do you think I go to first in my showroom when I'm doing window treatments? Kravit, let's be serious. But does that mean that I don't really like their product?
Great.
I mean, no, I love their product.
Yeah. Truthfully, though, we've actually been using their product now more since they asked us to partner with them than we did before. I mean, we used their product a ton before anyways.
Okay.
It wasn't to get anything out of it because we were really looking at what's best for our clients and what's best for the project. Okay. I wish we were that savvy when it came to designing projects all the time. Of course, we're always looking at profitability and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, we want a project that we can photograph that represents our brand really well.
Okay.
And it just so happens that there are certain brands, specifically S. Harris, because they have all these amazing statement fabrics. And then you have their parent company, I guess, which is Fabricut, who has all the amazing, solids and planes that are
staples.
Like what are the powerhouses? What's the word? They are durable, cleanable, like good price points. Like they're just like your workhorse. Your workhorses.
Yeah. The workhorse.
And so we've always just used them a lot, just because it's you can do the high low and it just fits with our brand. There's not all brands are going to be the same as ours. There's some people that are going to be working in really a lot like super high end luxury stuff. Like, the Holland and Sherry's of the world. That's not where we're at. We're in a certain place. And so we gravitate towards Fabricut. And then we accent with S. Harris, which is luxury, and it's the patterns. We use Kravit too. We use Schumacher. We use all those brands. We never really, we don't discriminate. We love fabric.
And the thing is,
we're just smart about it.
Yes.
Yeah. But because of that, we've been using it more. But yes, I mean, we tag with them all. Like everyone we use that we really like and we feel like their brand aligns with ours and we can use for our product, we do tag them and we engage and we make it a priority to engage with our manufacturers because we think that it's just really important. It's a bigger part of the industry. We have a huge design following on our Instagram and on our blog. And so we like to be able to share those sources so that other designers can, figure out how to customize or, integrate find new things. We like to share.
It's great to share information with other designers because, sometimes maybe you might want to ask a question.
Right.
And want somebody to tell us too,
Right. Exactly. Okay. So
but we share too. So we do engage too, so that they'll take notice. Yes.
Right.
It's just not calculate. It's not super calculated. It's just where it's more of a broad picture.
Okay, I hear you. I mean, look, what I really am hearing is have a good, solid business with a well thought out business strategy, and then all the other things can happen. So, okay, so we're going to get back to that, but let's do a little bit more on the fabric line. So there's 60 SKUs in it, I think Carolina said to me. Is there 60 SKUs, girls?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So tell us about, because we're interviewing and it's not live yet, so I haven't seen it. By the time this interview airs, it will be live and people will be able to, and I'll be able to have the links in the show notes, so and of course they can go to your website, I'm sure, as well, or even to S. Harris, obviously. So, but give us a little feel for what the line is like.
Well, they're all gorgeous.
Of course.
The whole collection is all inspired by travel. I mean, it's kind of like celebrating the adventure of design. I mean, one of the things we do in our work is that we play a lot with pattern and color and contrast. And so the entire line is basically a collection of textiles that you can really build a room around. And all the textiles have, you can use all the different textiles in all different applications. So we've got upholstery and windows and bedding and pillows and all that good stuff. And so
velvets, we have printed linens, we have embroidered linens, we have a wide variety we have woven fabrics. We have a wide variety of different types of textures and textiles.
Yeah. And the whole collection is really inspired by our travels. We are fortunate enough to travel a lot for work and get to go on a lot of inspiration trips. And, again, because of our marketing and because of our branding, we have manufacturers and organizations, want to bring us places to talk about them. So, we've been to Italy and we've been to London, and we get to go out, we're going to Spain later in Paris. And it sounds so terrible. but working in Paris is different than vacationing in Paris. But regardless,
poor thing.
No, but it's just nice. It's nice to have that worldly feel. And they all have, their own inspiration. They have a lovely story to go along with beautiful patterns as well.
So tell me about creating the actual patterns and like you're describing, coming from your inspiration, your travels and your experiences. Are you sitting there in a cafe and all of a sudden you're like scratching on a napkin? Like where is this coming from? What's the experience like working with the studio? And are you guys coming up with like a line drawing of a pattern and then you go to the S. Harris studio and then you're working with the artisans there? Like how does the process work?
It's actually a really interesting process, and it was kind of enlightening getting involved in this because we already had patterns designed that we had sketched on napkins when we were in Italy and together traveling.
At the airport, at a cafe, actually.
Yeah, we did have all that. And we've incorporated a lot of that into our other designs. But when we went, the reason why this whole line came about the way it did is, at first when they came to us, they really were more interested in partnering on a different level. They were interested in our business model and they wanted to kind of collaborate and partner, but they weren't really sure how. They just wanted to be aligned with us in some way. And I mean, we've always wanted to be aligned with them. And so we started talking, and they invited us to their headquarters, which is in Tulsa. And we met with the creative director. And we were just talking and brainstorming on how to partner and how we could maximize this. We were talking about private label at first and talking about some other things. And then as we're walking through their studios and meeting with the creative director, Jody Feiner, we just started like grabbing these fabrics and going, oh my God, I love this. What is this? But what if we changed this? And what if it was this color? Or what if the scale of this was different or this? And then we'd grab another one and be like, oh my God, I love this, but I would use this more if it were like this. This needs to be like more of an upholstery grade, blah, 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 blah. So we just started grabbing all these things and talking about them and having a conversation. And within like less than 2 hours, we had an entire collection built and laid out on a table, like inadvertently. Like it was just sort of like, I mean, that's just what Carolina and I
tweaking.
do.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, we had the vision in our brains.
Yeah.
And then, obviously it took a whole year to bring it to life. But it was something that
it was a sort of thing.
Yeah, it was very inspiring, and it was done that day. It was really interesting.
And it was funny because there were people walking through the hall and they were like, what is this? Because everyone gets excited, when they work for a company and they see something new. And we're like, this is, we just put this together. Like, this is what we're doing. So everyone just got very excited about it. And so we ended up, it had to go through the channels, obviously, of this company. And it's a corporation. So it's not like someone can just make a quick decision. So it had to go through the proper channels of deciding, like, is this a partnership that they really want to have? So, it went through all the channels and they came back to us with a licensing agreement and they wanted to do a licensed collection. And we were like, this is amazing.
we were like, yes, please.
But it was so cool because I think what I've been most impressed with their company is that they have been so open to making sure that it was a reflection of us, but yet it still be a real collaboration. It wasn't like we were just like, this has to be our way. We went into this as like, how can we sell fabric? Not what can you do for me? It's like, how
they're just such a great company. They're a very family oriented company, which, makes you feel great working with somebody like that.
Right.
It's been such a pleasure.
And Jody, who's the creative director, has such a vision for where she sees the future of S. Harris going. And her mind is all on, this changing landscape of interior design and, how things are readily available and what people are inspired by. And she just has this huge vision, philanthropy, travel. She just has a lot of thoughts about things. She's very creative. And so it's just inspiring to be around someone like that too. And also be able to have her still listen to you and make sure that she makes sure things are a reflection of you. I mean, I think that's one thing, any designer should be leery of going into a partnership is, we've been approached for partnerships before and we've been involved in talks with people in partnerships, and it's just never been really a good fit because, we have to be protective of our brand and make sure that we don't just take any opportunity that comes our way.
Right.
If you kind of locked in with someone who, you kind of end up being kind of married to them. They become part of your business. You're aligned with them just like they're aligned with you. So that's why a lot of manufacturers are, very careful about who they go into partnerships with. So you have to be, but as the designer, as a small potatoes company, you can't go in and just accept anything that comes your way. You have to make sure you align yourself with someone who's going to respect your brand and want to champion it. And they've done that. And it's been really, really cool to be a part of something like that.
Tell me some of the things that when you had previous discussions with other opportunities from other companies that were the red flags, that you knew that they were not the ones to align with.
We worked on a small little thing, which I won't name the company.
Yeah, you don't have to name the names of the companies. I'm just the lesson of how, the red flags.
Yeah, well, one of the things we did was that, they basically tried to design something for us and wanted us to put our name on it. And we were like, no, like,
right. Like, okay, you design that. Not me.
It's really, because I think that's something that I didn't realize this as, a young designer or a young business owner, that all these companies that, have all these lines out, that the designer doesn't always just design it from start to finish and they just pick it up.
Right.
It's kind of sometimes the opposite. Like I've spoken to a lot of people who have licensed collections. I mean, and sometimes it's a hybrid too. So
everyone works differently.
Right.
But
the thing is, we don't have to bash with whoever, whatever, right, but for you, if somebody approached you and wanted to present you a finished product and just attach your name to it, that was a no for you personally. Yeah. Doesn't mean for somebody else it's a no. For you, it was a no. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Or we've also had a situation where possibly they say, oh yeah, we would love to work with you. Can you give us a bunch of designs and we'll tell you whether or not we like them? And it's like,
oh, right.
Well, I mean, that's just kind of like, no, that's like, I don't know how I'm going to do that. Then you just take these and do what you want with them.
The other thing we've run into too is we've come across a company that we don't really use very much and their price points are too low. We won't use them in projects, or they're too high.
Right.
We can't sell this to our clients. So why would we partner with you? Because it doesn't align with our brand and what we're working in. We are in luxury, but we're not in like the super, super high end. Like, we're not selling like $20,000 coffee tables. We're selling more reasonably, but high end price point items. We do work with a luxury clientele, but we also work in high low, and, we have clients, we have to be stewards of our clients' budgets. And so, it's not even at the higher level, we're just not attracting those crazy people not crazy people.
I know what you mean. We all know what you mean.
Those crazy high budgets. Yeah.
Right. The people aren't crazy. It's their money that's crazy.
And we have those too, but honestly, even the people that we do have that have a ton of money, they're still
they're smart,
practical
about budgets, and they're practical.
Yeah, they're smart about their money. That's why they have money.
Right.
That's just, yeah. That's just
well, I mean, the thing is, let's just to say in there. So the thing is that, again, just to repeat it, if a company wants you to just simply put your name on something that you haven't designed, it's not that out the gate that's bad. I mean, that's like, I don't know, Cheryl, whoever, Cindy Crawford or somebody is doing something for Maybelline. Nobody thinks Cindy Crawford invented freaking Maybelline, right? Right. I mean, she's just, the spokesperson for it. So that's really the thing. That's more of a spokesperson role or an ambassador role, right? Like to me, that's that distinction. And I think there's a lot of room in the design industry for that sort of distinction, but it comes with being transparent about it. And so where the rub is if a company approaches and says, we want to say you designed it. You see, that's not so good. I don't like that. Right. That's lying. Hello, that's lying. Let's just go there. Yeah. So, but if somebody said, hey, we love your brand, we love your aesthetic, we love your social media platform, we love your business model, and we'd love for you to represent our company, as long as I do think that whenever anybody that would take advantage of that opportunity, it should be, as you said, a product that you would use in your jobs. You would not want to be a brand ambassador or a spokesperson for a brand that you didn't believe in. But so they're two different things. And so for you were not interested in being brand ambassadors or spokespersons. And so those were NO deals. And then, of course, the other deals that you would maybe say no to and they would be a red flag are things that, like you said, if it's way, 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 way too high end and you're going to use this product line once every 10 years, well, that's not aligning with you. And if it's way, way too on the other end and you're not using it. So those are good criteria. I like to talk about those lessons in there.
I think truthfully, like for the designers out there who are thinking of partnering or who want to grow their business or, want to do anything with their brand at all, I think it's so important to sit down and identify what your goals are and who you are as a firm. Like, we have a set of values that we base everything off of, and we go back and visit that anytime something comes along and make sure that, we Carolina and I do not come from money. So if this fails, we are screwed. So we have to make sure
this is our bread and butter.
Yeah. So we have to make sure that, we are growing slow and steady and purposefully. And so for us, that meant not jumping into things that could potentially harm our business. We've been offered reality shows and talked to about this and that. And it's like, no, like I have enough confidence in our brand to make sure that we're a long-standing company and that we're going to grow, steadily. We're in our 11th year of business today, like I said. That feels like so long ago, but in so many ways, it also still feels like it's just the beginning. Carolina and I were texting about that today. It's like we have so much still ahead of us. And so, I think it's really important to make sure that you don't just jump into anything that comes your way just because it's exciting and you think it might get you notoriety, because there's a lot of smoke and mirrors out there.
There's a lot of people
your gut.
Totally. You could tell. I mean, a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you can if you have learned to cultivate how to listen to yourself. You have to learn to cultivate it, and you have to trust it when you hear it. You can't be swayed by what we all say, the shiny object. If your gut is telling you, your intuition, your goddess is telling you, then it's got to be You know what I mean? Yeah. And I like that, because you are repeating what we often say on the show is, why are you doing it? What is your why? Right. And you just said, Beth, to evaluate your values with every opportunity. Does it go back to, and what I always say is, does it support your company mission? Does it, support your core values? Does it, you know what I mean? Because if those things all check out, then it's like, oh, okay, these all check out. Okay, that's like the first phase of, that passes the test. Then let's go to the second phase. And, what actually is this deal going to be? And what is the financial arrangement of this deal? Because it could be passing that first level. It could be something that supports your company mission. It could be something that aligns with your values. But then maybe they give you the deal and you're like, well, hello, where's my end? You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be profitable. You're going to take your time away. And so that's another question that I have for you. In this last year that this has happened, and this has been developing and going on between the trips to Tulsa and your design time and probably, looking at proofs of fabric and everything else. What are we estimating hours out of your business? Like, have you ever considered that? Was it something that you just had a calendar every week and put 2 hours aside to move the project forward, and every 2 or 3 weeks it took 3 days, or because it's a lot to build this on the side, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know. We probably should have been tracking our time, but we haven't been, foolishly, because then we could give you a really good answer. But I mean, the truth of the matter is like, we could not have done this without our team. I mean, we have an awesome
You're
awesome
only as strong
team.
as your team. I know that's cliche, but it's so true. I mean, you have to have really great support.
Yeah. And right now we have, I mean, honestly, everyone on board is like just the best. And it's like, we're like a little family, and it's just super fun, even across the country. And, if we didn't have them, there's no way we could have done this, because it has taken so much of our time away. Because the thing is they don't want just one of us. They want both of us. So every time we do anything, we both have to do it. So
what you're expressing, and I'm just to make the point here, what you're saying in there is, if a designer listening has got the talent, has the platform, has the ability, and desires to do this, if they expect to keep their firm running while this goes on, and that's, I would think, is, a big part of this whole thing, is that they have to make sure that they look around them and know that if they're out of here for 2 days this week, and again the following week for another 2 days, or if they're just in there but on the phone for 3 hours every third day, that the business is going to run smoothly, and the clients are going to be cared for, and the profits are going to keep rolling, because otherwise you'll end up with a product or a license or whatever, and then have no business, and you're not getting rich off the product licensing. I know
that's the thing I think people should know too, is I mean, obviously we don't know this fully yet, because we haven't been getting those royalty checks yet, but because the line just is launching. But it's not a ton of money in the product side of it. I think everyone thinks like you've made it when this happens, but really our bread and butter is our clients. Like we're first and foremost designers, and that's where our revenue is coming from. And I think that's something to be mindful of. And also the fact that, too, if you stop designing and you're focusing on product, then not as many brands want to partner with you after that, because they want working designers.
Right. That's the thing. You have to keep that ship moving and not just teetering along. It has to be successful, not just, like you said, smoke and mirrors. I mean, look, the thing is, it's not to say that you can't make money in this. It's not that. That's not at all. But it's not going to be. It's not in the beginning going to be your bread and butter. And in what it is it's one more thing. It's one more thing to your brand that adds value. So it might not be the thing that you're going to retire on, but it might lead to something else that leads to something else. And then 5 years from now, maybe you don't have to design anymore. I mean, whatever. I mean, if you don't want to, whatever. So,
I mean, I feel like the running theme of this conversation is really nothing happens overnight. It's like, it all takes time and it all takes effort. And it's not just one overnight, like this happens and all of a sudden you're successful and have 1 million followers and have lines and have a team. And all that stuff. It's like, it just takes a lot of time.
It takes hard work.
Strategy.
Well, I remember interviewing Candace Olsen the first year the podcast was on, and she basically said, "Oh yeah," she goes, "I'm a 25-year overnight success." It's like a lot goes on behind the scenes before you look like everything looks easy.
So true.
So let's talk about that a little bit. There is a turning point in a design firm that, well, first let me ask you one question, and then I'm going to possibly, depending on where this takes us, take us back to, you guys are 11 years today in business. Take us back to, anywhere from 8 months to 2 years in business. Is there something that the two of you can recall being very difficult and being very challenging, and not so much just a particular client, but in the scope of like, holy good God, why did we open a business? That you would, if you could just look at those two women now and say this to them. Is there something in that 1 to 3 year business persons that you were?
Well, first I have to say too, we don't have, we may have this typical business model, the way we've painted it and grown, but, we started our business together because we wanted something better for ourselves. And we weren't able to jump right into it. We, like I said, Carolina and I are not wealthy progression. we were working nights and weekends to build our business while we still worked for a commercial firm. And so we did that for 4 years.
I didn't remember it was 4 years. I remembered that you did it, but that's a long time.
Yeah, we were gaining clients. We were we were trying to do, like we said before, we were kind of trying to do product, and we realized, that costs money too. And that's a lot of work.
Product is actually why we actually started our business.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we love design, we love interior design, but we had that passion for product.
Okay.
So then 4 years after that, one of us jumped off. It was me. I jumped off first, and it was all very it was very sweet. We took our time. We did it right when we were ready, rather than just diving head first, which,
and then I came 5 months later. I think
Carolina came 5 months later. Yeah. And because we got so busy once we actually dedicated the time to it, we got so busy that Carolina couldn't work nights and weekends and do her job at her other place. So it was
designing hotels in China or something, right?
And then Beth was like, "Listen, you're either gonna have to quit your job, or we're gonna have to hire someone." I was like, "That's ridiculous."
Well, that's silly, because I'm the hire. Now we're gonna pay somebody else, and I'm still gonna work an 80-hour week. That doesn't make any sense.
So we both took huge pay cuts to do it. I mean, we went in really, really low and slow, like entry-level salary, even though we'd been in the industry for a while. And it was really, what I think it was the first actual hire. We had contract employees for a while because we were afraid to commit. So we had contract employees, and we were, I had them come, sometimes part-time, sometimes full-time. People that we knew and trusted. But then when it was time to actually hire, pay someone a salary and give them benefits and all that good stuff, it was like, okay, well, this is real. This is a business. And then even still, when we started hiring more people, I mean, I think it's really the staff part of it that made it feel a little bit more legit, because it wasn't just two girls trying to make it in design. It was like, okay, we're responsible for other people now. We're providing a service to our clients. We have to express our brand and our values and our company to another employee, and make sure that they are representing our company well. And it just became a lot more official, And I think the thing is we always knew we always knew that we would be successful. Even if we weren't going to be successful, we knew we would be.
I love it. I know exactly what you mean.
We didn't know what level.
What it would look like, right.
Like you don't know,
right.
yes, Harris Fabricat's going to come knocking at your door. But right. I mean, we knew that we were going to be successful designers and people were going to want to work with us for sure.
Right.
Some way.
You have a belief in yourself. You had a belief in yourself. And that's and the thing is it's a belief and trust, right? You believed in yourselves and your talent and your abilities, and you trusted that it would all happen if you did everything right. The thing is, what I have to say, I hear it in this interview, and I remember it from the first interview, is that you have always also address the business end of it, because you just said a sentence in there, Beth. You said you're racing through talking about onboarding employees, but there was one sentence that you said that was so brilliant. And now we had employees, and we not only had to train them what to do, but we had to teach them our brand and how to work within our company. You see, that's the kind of thing that some people don't think to do. And as a young business person, you too thought about that, and you understood that it's not just having, Sally here working with me for 20 hours or 10 hours or 40 hours a week. Sally has to do the Pulp Studio way, the pile, you know what I mean? And so that's very intuitive on your part.
A lot of people have to. The hard part of that is that you have to identify who that is.
Yeah, you
can't just design. You can't just design and work in this business and have a business and just be designing. Like, you have to define who you are and articulate that. So it's not even like, it's just I think part of that exercise. And I feel like we talked about this the last time too when we were talking about making the videos. Is that you have to take the time to sit and identify, like, what are your values? Who are you as a company? Where do you want to be? It's a long and hard exercise, and not even just like, what do you want your company to be, but what do you want your personal life to look like too? Like, what, I don't want to take on 5 licensing deals this year because I don't want to pull my hair out, even though I'm already maybe losing hair.
My hair.
Yeah.
She has good hair.
Yeah.
Actually, that curling wand does me good favors. Anyways,
so it's good. It's smart.
It's about identifying who that is, and so you can't articulate that to anyone until you do that. So that includes your clients, your employees, anyone who's following you, any brands you want to work with. We always say to our employees, and anybody who's hired, like who's interviewing for us, is like, our designers have a really hard job because they have 2 clients. They have our client, and then they have Beth and Carolina. They have the Pulp brand as their client. Right. So, our employees or our designers may pick something that we know the client will love. But sometimes we're like, I know the client's going to love this, but they came to Pulp for a reason, and that doesn't fit our brand.
Wow.
So we need to give them something that they'll love that's through our brand filter.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's hard. Yeah. Our designers have hard work.
And then tell me about when you felt comfortable, because in the beginning, well, tell us. I have heard many times designers say, look, in the beginning, I took every work I could get. I took every job I could get. And whether I liked it, didn't like it, whatever. And then they always express there's a moment where they just start to go, I'm not going to take that project. That's not a good project for me. And it's scary. It's a scary thing to look at a dollar bill and say, no, thanks, take it back. So tell us about that, because I can hear you stand in your space now. You don't even let them specify a fabric that doesn't align with it. But how about, were you just like, was that one of your non-negotiables from the beginning because you were part-time so you could turn work down? Tell us about that growth.
We used to have people come to us and say, I want to redo my whole house for $5,000. And we'd be like, that's not really possible, but let us look at that and figure out if we can make it work.
I mean, you have to be realistic and be honest.
I mean, we'd be honest about it, but we would still say, like, well, if it's feasible, we'll do it. And we still say that in a way, but I think, I think for us, when we started turning things down is because we got burned. We had some client come to us and start shopping, and then it ended up being a nightmare, and that's like one of our things. Like, if you want to go shopping, no. Or you just, it's like, it's just experience more than anything. It's like, I think anybody who goes into their business and says, I'm only going to take on these types of projects, either has a lot of money or is way smarter than we are.
But it's a growth.
Now,
it's a growth.
Like she said, with the experience, I think now, I mean, you can tell when you're on an initial phone call with somebody, for the most part. I mean, there are maybe some that slip by, but for the most part, you can tell, if it's going to work out or not going to work out. I think you can really tell.
Yeah, totally. And the thing too, Luann, is like, it's also a moving target. It's like every year, the quality of our clients keep getting better, and that target moves. It's like that. I think, we still will take on projects of all different budgets, truthfully. Like we have hundreds of thousands of dollars and, $1-million homes multi-million-dollar homes that we're working on. And then we also sometimes have just a room that we'll do, but what we did, one of our values is quality completion. And so we don't take on like the piecemeal stuff. We have to do like an entire room or an entire home. Most of our projects are entire homes, but as long as we can complete a project with quality and do it the way that we want to do it for our client, and that we have a happy client in the end, we'll take it on.
Okay, so let me clarify there. So what you're saying is, at this point, 11 years in, if somebody comes to you and say everything else jives, the chemistry drives, yada, 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 and you're like, oh, okay, it's one room. All right, yeah, everything else is working. I'll do this. But then they say, and you say quality completion, you want it to go all the way to the accessories, to the throat, thing on the sofa. And they say, oh no, I really just wanted you to figure out my moldings and a floor plan and place the big pieces. I'm going to finish it myself. You just go, no, there, stop. We're not doing it. Okay.
No, because the thing is we know for a fact that the services that they will pay will outweigh the value of what they're going to get in the end, and they will not be happy with this in the end. So we don't want unhappy clients. And so we're very honest with people about that up front. It's not like we won't take it on because it's too small for us. It's because we know that you're not going to be pleased with how much you're going to pay for doing that small amount of stuff. So we are not going to work with you because you will be pissed off. So it's not even about us, truthfully. It's about the clients. Like, it's not like we're not going to take this project on because it's too small. It's like, we're not going to take this on because you will not be happy. And we want happy clients who are going to give us referrals.
And just to clarify, it wasn't always that way. For designers listening, there was a space and time in your business career that you would have taken on a project that wasn't going to go to quality completion. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have.
Okay, yeah.
We have.
I mean, we just don't want anybody to be completely intimidated. You know what I mean? There's a growth.
Yes, no, we have. And the thing is like, we either ended up with unhappy clients, or we were having to cut the bill down so low that we ended up having to eat a lot of the time that we put into it. So it's like, we just know from experience that, if we want a happy client, we are the ones that had to make the sacrifice for our business had to sacrifice, or we sacrificed the happy client. So either way, there was like a give.
Right.
And so, like you said, was there a pivot point? Was there something that happened overnight? No, there wasn't. It's been a slow, steadily increasing. Like, our portfolio keeps getting better, and we keep getting to put better projects in, and then they tell their friends, and then that gets, so it's like, it's a really slow growth, and it's strategic, and it's purposeful.
I like it. I was recently in a conversation with a group of designers, and the principle is exactly the same. I said, when you start to identify the way you want your business to look and the way you want your life to work within that business, then you will start to attach a price tag for whether it's your consultation or it's your design fee or whatever. And when you present that, even if you think that, even if you know that is 50% than what it was the week before, or whatever it is, when it seems high to you, it's because you're still willing to work for a certain amount of money. When you're not willing to work for when you're not willing to work for it, in other words, it's not worth it to work for that amount. That's when you will be comfortable raising the price. I'm totally screwing up the way when it's not worth it for you to work for that amount, you will be fine with raising the price, and you won't care the people that say no. So that's the same what you're just describing. You were doing the projects that weren't to quality completion. You were consistently unhappy with the process, consistently unhappy with the outcome. Your clients were unhappy with the outcome. That, you know, and it's a big mess. And finally it's like, okay, we don't do that anymore. And now the person that doesn't want to do it with you to quality completion, you don't worry about it.
Right. Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, experience. It's getting there. It's standing there.
It's also like I said too, it's about documenting like who you are and what you want to be, because those things have changed for us over time. Like it's like you have to know the rules before you break them. Like we added quality completion as a value of ours later in the game. We had a whole value set, and then we added that because we're like, I didn't realize how important it was for us to be able to finish a project to quality completion. Like it's like you,
because it's truly what you want it to be. It's not like, you know, a hodgepodge of things. Yeah.
And, you know, that may not be the value for everyone. People may want to do consultations or may just want to work, you know, on a consultant basis, you know, like that's not what we do. You know, we want to have our hands in it. We want to know the client. We want to get into who they are, how they live, and we want to give them a product that they're going to live with and love. And so to us, that's why that's our value. It's all about, you know, like who you are. Don't take everyone's values and put them to yourself. Like think about what you want to do and how you want to do it, and then drive the values that way, go through the exercise to do that. And honestly too, you know, Carolina and I, we consulted a business strategist, and we still do to this day, because I think, and I know, Luann, I think you do the business you do consultations for that as well. I think it's so important for designers, number one, to know what they don't know. But number two, to take the exercise to sit down and work through what that is. It's like, if you have an appointment, you'll take the time, and you bought the consultation, you'll take the time to sit down and do the work to identify what those things are. But I think that's just so important. I don't think we'd be where we are today if we hadn't done the work.
No, I can hear it. You have really, truly, you can hear the work that you two have done in understanding yourselves first and identifying what your business is, who it is, what its values are, how it lives and breathes and functions. And then therefore what happens is, like, and this is, you're right, and this is some of the things that I often discuss with the designers that I'm talking with. It's like the first question is why? And why do you want to do it? And how do you want to do it? And who are you in the middle of doing it? Because once you get clear, now you don't worry about what somebody else is doing and what somebody else is charging and how many hours that and this. It's just, look, this is I call them the non-negotiables. Let's get to your non-negotiables, because now you don't angst over anything that doesn't happen because of it, right?
No, that is true. You need to worry about yourself and what works for you.
Yeah, we have like Caroline and I, we have like blinders on, honestly, when it comes to our industry. Like we are aware of things, and like you always ask, have you met this person? Like, I don't think so. But we really do have our blinders on. We're not looking at everyone and going like, you know, oh, how
should
are
we
they
change
doing that?
this? And should we do it like that?
We should do I think we've come up with what works for us, and we just sort of get to observe the design community and support them, and you know, like champion our friends who are designers. We don't want, you know, it's a really interesting place to be when you can really just sort of like zero in on your own business and focus on that, and just find out what works for you and not worry about what's working for everyone else, because it's just different. You know, everyone has different goals and everyone has a different, you know, value to offer. There's enough room for everyone, and you know, I think as long as you pay attention to yourself, it's that authenticity comes through, and people like S. Harris will see who you are because you've clearly defined it. And so I think that's where it comes from, is just creating a strong, you know, brand and a strong business with a strong set of values, and your clients can see it and they come to you for a reason, and your employees can see it and the brand partners can see it. Like, it's just, it becomes very clear if it's clearly defined up front.
I love it. It's so good. So tell me about the line, like when this is going to air last week of March. So is it going to be available in the S. Harris showrooms to see it at that time? Like the launch is March 20th. So so it'll be physically in the showrooms.
It should be in the showrooms, and it also should be in all the reps' hands. So, you know, everyone should have their local and regional reps.
Will be out. The sales force
Yeah, we had to, one of the things too, like this is business stuff, Luann. Like, it's not just like fabric stuff. Like, we actually had to go to the national sales meeting for Fabric Hut and present our line to the entire sales force. And we were like, oh,
awesome.
wow, this is like,
Great.
and it was everyone was so amazing. Like, all the reps were so nice.
Oh, isn't that
and they
fun?
it was so well received. They all were super excited about the line. But I think those are the things that we didn't really realize. Like, oh yeah, we're just gonna have do some textiles, have fun with it, and put in our project. And then we're like, oh, we have to do a presentation of all of each line in each collection piece to all of the people who know what they're talking about.
That's hysterical. And how about at High Point? We'll be at High Point. Are you doing anything down there with it?
So we're going to be having a preview event, like a little VIP preview event at High Point in the Alden Park showroom. And so we're pretty excited about that. If anybody is interested in attending, we'll put all the details on our website, and we'll make sure that anybody who wants to attend can get a special VIP invite to it, because it's going to be sort of a fun little exclusive event where we're going to have champagne, and we just want to share everything with all of our designer friends, because I just feel like, and Carolina and I have been talking a lot about this, I feel like people will be excited about these textiles because they're dynamic and they're exciting, and they're something that I think designers will want to build a room around. Like, we're all as designers, we're always looking for those cool, fun, adventurous fabrics to put into our projects that our clients will bite on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, we're always looking for fresh blood. It's like, I want something new. I'm tired of the same old stuff. Give me something new.
Yeah.
And so I think that, I think our friends, who we're dying to tell, by the way, be excited by this, because it's really beautiful, and it's really exciting, and it's really adventurous and dynamic.
You can make a statement with it, which is really great, whether it's just on a pillow or a drapery or on the back of a chair or an entire room.
I can't wait to see it. I'm literally looking forward to seeing it. So I'm going to High Point myself, so I'm going to have to stop by. Yes.
Oh my gosh, you could be our guest of honor.
Love it.
That's awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, you guys are just something else. Do you remember the first time I interviewed, what I think the first sentence I said to you was? I was like, I have been watching your videos for 2 days, and I haven't even met you, and I feel like you're my best friends.
But you know what? You're the same exact way, Luann. You're so easy to talk to, and every time we do these interviews, we feel like we're just chatting with a friend. And then remember when we saw you at the DXV launch event in New York? It's like we felt like we knew you forever. It was just like, Luann.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Like, you went walking by. I'm like, that's Beth. I'm like, come back.
You do make it so easy to chat, because
Thank you.
I'm not. I always get nervous with these types of things, and I have to say, Beth doesn't. She loves to talk.
I do love to talk.
But it's funny because we're different on social levels, like face to face with people, and you have. I
can't get a word in when we're just chatting.
The first time we did this, I after we did it, I was like, that was actually pretty cool and pretty simple, because she made it so easy to do. So you do make it so it's really comfortable for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. No, I love doing it. I love learning all about the different ways that you guys, all of you, the way you run your businesses. And particularly when I hear women like yourselves describe the key points, the keystones that make your business run well, and I hear them that they are like the real deal. Like I said, I've pulled out a couple of things along the way in your conversation. These are the true tenets that create a profitable business, and you guys just do them. I mean, so I was going to say you do them instinctively, but you've been working with a business strategist. But the thing is, people pay for coaches all the time and then go around and then don't do the work. So you guys are smart ladies. You're smart ladies over there.
Thank you so much.
All righty. Well, I'll see you in a few weeks at High Point.
Yeah, wonderful. We would love that.
That's it. Both this together.
Yes, have a drink.
That's the truth. We definitely will do that, girls.
Thank you so much for having us and let us chat about our fabric. I mean, we just love sharing. I think the stronger we all are as designers, the better our industry will become. So I think it's just really fun to be able to chat about stuff and hopefully encourage other designers. And we're always learning from other designers too.
And
still
support ourselves.
Yeah, it's just,
all of us as a community. It's so nice for designers to support themselves.
Definitely.
It's so important.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Luann.
Thank you, Luann.
Alrighty, so I cued you in at the beginning of the program. I hope you heard it, how important it is to get clear on your company mission and your core values. You can see through the conversation how it has helped Pulp Design Studio define the type of projects that they will do. It helped attract the right kind of clients to them. But most importantly, the gravy was it also helped attract the attention of S. Harris to them. Beth described that how S. Harris, when they originally contacted them, wasn't even sure what the collaboration would be, what the deal was that they wanted to have with them. They just said, based on your company brand, your clear message in the design industry, your reputation, your status, your platform, everything you stand for, we simply want to work together with you on something. So how's that for another reason for doing the work on understanding your why? Okay. Now, please, if you are new and you are just starting out, please don't be intimidated by this. Beth and Carolina have been figuring this out, analyzing what works for them, revising it, and perfecting it for the last 11 years. It doesn't happen overnight. Every one of us that has been in business for a long period of time, we know that it doesn't happen overnight. But the message is, if you are newer, be thinking about it, okay? Analyze why some jobs go well, why they don't. Why are some jobs more pleasurable and why some are not? And don't be afraid to turn away from the projects and the things that don't work for you, that don't feel right. Develop a trust in yourself, okay? And if you are seasoned and you are thinking that licensing is on the horizon for you, what did they say? Go in with eyes wide open. One of the things that Beth and Carolina mentioned was the number of hours it took to pull this together and the hours that it took them away from their design business, from their client projects. They explained it's critical to have a strong team in place, and absolutely imperative that you have systems and processes in place so that your business can run when you're not there. And I'll just take a minute to state the obvious right here. If you haven't tried My Doma Studio yet, now is probably the time. My Doma Studio can be that partner for you, that platform that you need to lock down your processes so your design projects can run smoothly, efficiently, and profitably. So to see what My Doma can do for you, head over to mydomastudio.com/a-well-designed-business. Okay? mydomastudio.com/a-well-designed-business. Now, who's going to High Point? Okay? April 2018. If you are going, please come to the lunch and book signing that Kravit and My Doma Studio are hosting for us. We will have a limited number of books with us, so if you bought one already, bring it. And if you haven't, you can get yours at luannniagara.com/book. Okay? I'd love to meet you, ask you about your business, and sign your book for you. Join us Monday, April 16th at 1:00 p.m. at the Kravitz showroom. All right, so what will you do today to make your design firm just a little bit better than it was yesterday? What will you decide to do today to be just a little bit more profitable? Decide and then do it. Decide to be excellent. Thank you so much for joining me again today. This podcast is a production of WindowWorks, your resource for custom window treatments and awnings. To learn how we can help you on your next interior design project, go to www.windowworks-nj.com. And if you're interested in working with me on your business, either through masterminds or one-on-one coaching, or you want to know how to get my book, The Making of a Well-Designed Business, or you just want to know what's going on in the podcast land and where I'm going to be, all of that is found at luannniagara.com. Thank you so much. Have an excellent day.